Hopefully you are all interested in global supply chain. I think we are all know how crucial this topic is. So yeah, thanks for having me. And again, my name is Andrea Goeman. So I'm responsible for sustainability, ESG at DB Schenker. Some of you might know us, especially if you live in Europe. You might see our trucks on the road. We are a classical freight forwarder. Third-party logistics provider, so-called. So we are asset light. We don't have own airplanes. We don't have own container ships, but we have own trucks. So you might see our trucks. We are focused on B2B. So only in a few countries, for example, in Scandinavia, we do customer deliveries like some of our competitors. So I would like to introduce you to our climate strategy. We are a subsidy of DB. German Railways, located headquartered here in Germany, and yes, let's get right to it. So, what are our current strategies towards fighting these challenges? So, we are all aware of the current restrictions in global supply chains. We are heavily influenced by COVID, closure of ports, for example, in China. You might have heard it on the news. Also in USA, there are many container ships that are stuck in front of the ports, cannot be unloaded due to port closures, for example. And this is a heavy burden for global supply chains when it comes, for example, to semiconductor supply for automotive industry or electronics industry. Also, we are heavily influenced by weather extremes. For example, when there's a big storm and like containers get lost even on the sea, or some of our colleagues in, for example, Pakistan, there are big floodings and factories or warehouses have to be shut down, for example. Also, of course, we have to implement CO2 trading in the next years. That's a cost factor for sure for our industry and also for our customer. Extra costs also for you as an end consumer. Yeah? And of course, we all know that, especially here in Europe or in Germany, the high energy cost. Yeah. So how can this be? How can we put up with it? Yeah. We are completely uncertain what this winter will bring. Also for our customers, how the economic situation will develop within the next 2-3 months. So this is a highly uncertain situation, also for the supply chains. So just give you a few insights on the logistics industry. We are one of the top 4 largest sources of emissions globally. So the top 3, for example, is the energy sector, also the agricultural, the food sector, and also the industrial sector. But after that comes the transport sector. This is also including the individual passenger transport, but also the supply chains worldwide. So if we would reduce, or if we would bring this sector to carbon zero, we would save over 10% of global emissions. And this is a large number. So we as DB Schenker, we are calling our sustainability strategy On the Way. And I think you've seen many of these frameworks today. Of course, we are all ESG related, our strategies, also complying to the UN SDGs. So let me give you a few insights on our strategy. So here you see the clean logistics part on the top. So there we really focus on creating products for our customers and reducing the overall impact emissions for our products. I will introduce you to them later. Then we have the thriving communities. So we want to improve the communities and also the employment conditions of our staff. We have over 75,000 employees, most of them working in our warehouses and also on the road, truck drivers, for example. And also shared values. So how do we engage with our partners, with our suppliers, but also with our customers to build really this sustainable supply chain? So we cannot solve it alone. And this is also I think we all of us as sustainability experts know that we can also only solve it with global partnerships for the same goal. So here you see the SDGs. So we, as DB Schenker, we support all 17 SDGs. But our main focus, of course, on the top level is driving climate action. So really reduce our carbon footprint in the next years and provide fair work opportunities worldwide. And this is kind of challenging because we have, especially here in Europe or also in the US, we have kind of a good situation, but we also operate in many countries where we have uncertain work conditions. And next year, some of you might know, there's a new regulation here in Germany coming up, the Lieferkettengesetz, supply chain law. So we really have to be completely transparent towards human rights, slavery, child labor, etc. So we really need to break that down also from this global level on country level. And this is crucial for us. Then, of course, developing sustainable solutions for our customers and really build products around it to help our customers to reach their climate targets. And last but not least, partnering for the goal, SDG 17. I think also for our group here, I think that's one of the most important, that we really partner up with our industry stakeholders and also even with competitors for sustainability. So our overall goal is carbon neutrality by 2040. We are complying we do that together with our DB holding. So this is kind of challenging because some of our main suppliers are only committed to be carbon neutral by 2050. For example, here in Germany, Lufthansa. So we are heavily relying on their investments as well. We are compliant to SBT to stay within 1.5 degrees. And of course, also looking forward to the further budgets of the European Green Deal. And we are heavily focusing on the new regulations here in Europe, like the CSRD, for example. We also have short-term targets, so 2030 is still 8 years away, but you know global supply chains are growing. So at the moment, we see some trends that some of our customers go towards nearshoring. So, for example, transfer their factories from, for example, China to Turkey or other countries in Europe. But still, global supply chains are growing. So we reduce our target is to reduce our overall emissions by 20%. Until 2030, and for the road transport, for the land transport, trucking in Europe by 50% due to new technologies, more efficiencies, and also, for example, e-trucks, hydrogen, fuel cell trucks. Also, we equip our buildings with sustainable building standards and only purchase green electricity worldwide. So what kind of technologies are available for green logistics? And I've been working on this topic for many years. Now I see it finally evolving. Also in the last years, I think there's a huge momentum for sustainability in logistics. So in order to source out fossil fuels by the year of 2040, we focus right now on sustainable energy sources like solar and wind power, but also, like I said before, for the trucking on electricity, EV trucks, and hydrogen. You all know there are not enough loading stations on the Autobahn or even the German energy grid, or also in European cities. It's not equipped for this heavy loading stations. So this is a highly risky topic, I would say. We also have to push this topic on a political level. So these grids are really equipped for this kind of power usage. When I think of like one of the logistics provider next to the other ones, and they have like 100 trucks to be loaded overnight, this is at the moment not possible. The whole city will be dark. This is a major issue here. On the ocean and air freight business, we focus on biofuels. So here we have built products together with our airlines, together with the shipping lines, to really inset biofuels mostly made out of used cooking oil, so frying oil basically. And this oil is insetted into the bunkers, into the tanks of the shipping lines, and into the, for example, in the port of Rotterdam, there are huge bunkers, and there these fuels are insetted to make the whole system greener. So we really focus on this, invest a lot of money for that, so we can reach our climate targets and also build these products around it. In the future, we see more e-fuels coming up, so sustainable fuels made out of renewable energy. But this is still the future. These factories are still operating right now on a very small level at the moment. So I think you've seen this slide maybe before today, scope 1 to 3 emissions, but where are we focusing on also for our customers? We are focusing on scope 3 emissions. These are the largest source of emissions also of our customers, because they are emitted, for example, by logistics and transport. Yeah, so we really focus on all 3 scopes. But for us, as DB Schenker, 95% of our emissions are in scope 3, because we only operate warehouses. But of course, the transport, air freight, ocean freight, we have really high energy emissions here. Overall, we emit around 12 million tons of CO2 in the last year. So let me introduce you to our products. What are we offering? So you see land transport, as I mentioned before, trucking. When you look on our LinkedIn or Instagram page, you see on the left side this fancy looking Volta truck. Last week was a big trucking fair in Hanover. And all of these suppliers, all of the trucking company had the focus on sustainability, kind of interesting for this sector, but it's the only topic for them at the moment. And yesterday, the first of our DB Schenker Volta trucks drove through Paris. Some cities, for example, Paris, they have really high restrictions now. So next year, there are the Olympics in Paris, and they will only let electric trucks into the city limits. So this is like a high pressure for us as a logistics provider as well. But I think this is exactly what we need, to push this topic. So good, but also challenging. Of course, we operate air freight, so we also charter some of these planes. For example, we have a weekly flight from Frankfurt here around the corner to Singapore, Boeing 777, and we compensate the whole flight. Since 2021, weekly flight back and forth with SAF. So we do a heavy investment. Not all of these customers that load cargo on this flight pay extra for the carbon neutrality, but some of them do, and I think it's a transition. We have to invest first, but really have to build this product and try to meet the demand long term. In the ocean freight sector, you all know container freight. One of the big suppliers here is the French shipping line CMA-CGM. And together with them, we have also built a biofuel product, so our customers can through insetting, buy also a sustainable product there. And then, of course, we have contract logistics, so what's happening in the warehouse. We also do circular economy there. For example, we can repair electronic goods, we can recycle fashion goods, etc. So we do that in our warehouses and also try to equip these warehouses really sustainable, like you see on the picture. Here's another picture of this Volta truck. So we pre-ordered 1,500 of these trucks. Looks a little bit like a bus. It's very low on the street, but also very nicely for the driver. So really a different feeling for the truck driver. And probably we have a huge lack of truck drivers in worldwide. This is a big problem. So we hopefully attract also new drivers with these kind of equipment. Yeah, so it's more electric, but we are also looking into autonomous driving. There are several startups, and this is also kind of exciting, but also still not allowed in worldwide, basically. Yeah, so only we do tests there on our yard. Last but not least, I would like to also a little bit focus on the topic of circular economy, because this is very important to me. Yeah, so global resources use quadrupled into the last 50 years. And this is really due to like not reusing of resources, yeah? So really focusing on a circular economy and enable our customers and industry to use their goods again is key to me. So how can we do that? We really want to regenerate first, like collect old goods or like products back from the customer, really do this reverse logistic approach, and also enable the customers to rethink their supply chains. Yeah, can they somehow avoid even transport in order to emit less? Yeah, and also enable the customers, the end consumers like us here, to use things again, use it longer, maybe get a phone repaired instead of just throwing it away, or buy the newest iPhone. So I think also possibilities, of course, to use things longer, get it repaired, or get new batteries, for example. Yeah. So this is key to me, and also the future for all of us, hopefully. So thank you. I think I hope I gave you a few short insights about global logistics industry, or our mission at DB Schenker. It's called On the Way. And hopefully, if you have any questions or need more insights, let me know. Thank you.